Today, we're diving deep into punk rock history to uncover 7 forgotten punk rock bands from the 1970s that you must hear again. They blazed trails, but somehow got lost in the shuffle of time. While everyone knows the Ramones, Sex Pistols, and The Clash, these 7 acts were just as revolutionary, just as raw, and just as important to the punk movement. Number 7. The Saints. The Saints formed in 1973 in Brisbane, Australia, thousands of miles from London and New York's punk scenes. Here's the kicker. They were doing punk before punk even had a name. In 1976, they recorded what many consider the first true punk single outside of America. I'm Stranded, a blistering track that combined raw energy with tight musicianship. The problem? Geography. Being from Australia meant limited exposure to the UK and US markets, where punk was exploding. Like a snake calling on a phone. The Saints brought a unique sound that mixed garage rock fury with a proto-punk attitude. Chris Bailey delivered sneering vocals over buzzsaw guitars that would influence countless bands. But by the time the world caught up, the punk moment had shifted, and the Saints were already evolving beyond the genre's constraints. Number 6. Pure Hell. Let's talk about Pure Hell, the first all-black punk band and one of the most overlooked acts in punk history. Formed in Philadelphia in 1974, Pure Hell were contemporaries of the Ramones and played legendary venues like CBGB and Max's Kansas City. They brought an explosive stage presence and songs that dealt with urban decay, social issues, and raw rebellion. So why haven't you heard of them? Racism in the music industry played a major role. Punk was being marketed as a white, working-class movement, and Pure Hell didn't fit the narrative that labels wanted to sell. They never got a proper album release in the 70s, despite their incredible live performances. It wasn't until 2006 that their recordings were finally released officially. Pure Hell deserved so much more recognition, and their story reminds us how many voices got marginalized in punk's early days. Number 5. The Nerves. The Nerves were a power pop punk trio from Los Angeles who existed for barely 2 years but created something legendary. They only released one EP in 1976, but that EP contained Hanging on the Telephone, a song that would become a punk rock standard when other bands covered it. I'm in the phone booth, there's the one across the hall. I know she's there, but I just had a call. The Nerves perfected a sound that was melodic yet aggressive, catchy yet raw. They played lightning-fast sets, usually under 20 minutes, cramming 10 to 12 songs into a blistering performance. Just a word is enough. Can you wait to say, baby, you will? Say that you will, give me some time. Internal tensions broke them up by 1978, and the members went on to form other successful bands. But the Nerves themselves? They remain a footnote, known more for what came after than for their own brilliant contributions. Give me the one-way face. Quit my job, sold my car, got my pay, and went on down. Number 4. X-Ray Spex. X-Ray Spex exploded onto the London punk scene in 1977 with a saxophone. Yes, a saxophone. And one of punk's most distinctive vocalists fronting the band. Their music tackled consumerism, identity, and artificiality with razor-sharp wit and irresistible energy. The saxophone gave them a sound unlike any other punk band, blending raw power with an almost avant-garde edge. They released one iconic album in 1978, Germ-Free Adolescence, that critics loved. but internal struggles led to their breakup by 1979. While they're remembered fondly by punk historians, they never achieved the mainstream recognition of their peers. The band was simply too ahead of their time, too weird, too challenging for the commercial punk market. Number 3. The Avengers. San Francisco's The Avengers formed in 1977 and quickly became one of the West Coast's most ferocious punk acts. Penelope Houston delivered powerful, politically charged lyrics over music that was faster and harder than most of their contemporaries. The Avengers opened for the Sex Pistols' final show in 1978, which should have been their big break. Instead, internal conflicts led to their breakup later that same year. They never released a full album during their initial run. The band's recorded output was minimal, a few singles and some compilation appearances. But those who saw them live never forgot the experience. The Avengers proved that punk on the West Coast could be just as intense as anything coming from New York or London. Number 2. Eater. What if I told you one of punk's most energetic bands was made up of teenagers? Actual teenagers. Eater formed in London in 1976, when their members were between 14 and 17 years old. Despite their age, Eater brought undeniable energy and wrote catchy, snotty punk anthems. They signed to a major label, released an album in 1977, and toured extensively. But being young also meant being volatile. The band imploded by 1979 amid the typical chaos of teenage rock stardom. Eater got dismissed by some critics as kid rockers, but their music holds up. They captured punk's youthful spirit more authentically than most because they actually were youth in rebellion, not adults playing the part. Number 1. Richard Hell and the Voidoids. Richard Hell pioneered the punk look before the term punk rock even existed. Ripped clothing, spiked hair, safety pins. He did it first. After leaving several influential bands, he formed the Voidoids in 1976. Their 1977 album Blank Generation was a masterpiece of intelligent literary punk rock. Hell brought a poet's sensibility to punk's raw energy, creating songs that were both intellectually challenging and viscerally exciting. The Voidoids featured incredible musicianship that elevated punk beyond simple three-chord thrashing. So why are they forgotten? Hell's uncompromising artistic vision meant commercial success was never guaranteed. He refused to play the music industry game, and the Voidoids dissolved by 1979. Hell went on to writing and other projects, leaving the band as a brilliant but brief chapter. There you have it, 7 forgotten punk rock bands from the 1970s that you must hear again. They prove that punk's history is deeper and more diverse than the standard narrative suggests. From Australia to Philadelphia, from teenage rebels to literary poets, these artists expanded what punk could be. Many have been rediscovered by new generations, their recordings finally getting the recognition they deserved. But it's worth remembering how easily great art can be forgotten, and how important it is to dig beneath the surface of any cultural movement. What forgotten bands do you think deserve rediscovery? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. Smash that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into music history. Until next time, keep rocking.